Hello everyone, hope you're bright and shiny and I'm also in the pink. My name is Jubair Ahmed. I'm planning to make a whole playlist on the STL, the standard template library in C++. So I will be talking on each video about each of the data structures such as the vector, list, deque, set, and those kind of things. And today I'll be talking about the vector. So today I will be doing these operations on a vector, these 9 operations on a vector. So I will be showing you how to create a vector, how to access elements on a vector, how to change an element on a vector, how to add or remove elements from a vector, how to know the size, or how to check if the vector is empty or not, or let's say how to look through a vector. There are different kinds of way to look through a vector, like for each loop or a normal for loop, and how to sort a vector. So let's get on to it. So this is a sample code in C++, as you already know. So, but before going into those operations, let's know what a little bit about what vector is. So vector is like a container. It stores elements like an array, but it can dynamically change in size. So adding and removing of elements are usually done at the end of a vector, and elements can be accessed by index. So this is a brief introduction to a vector. And to use a vector, we have to first include a header file named vector. We are adding the file. And to create a vector, we have to use the vector keyword and then a less than and a greater than sign and the vector name, let's say my vec. So this is a vector name. And we have to tell in the less than and greater than what type of vector, what type of primitive types, like string, integer, double, what kind of vector I want. Let's say I want an integer type vector. So our vector creation is done. So we have declared a vector called myVec. So this is our vector name myVec, and we can initialize it here. Let's say we want to put some value. We can assign some values to it. So for that we have to use the assign symbol and then use the braces. Use the curly braces, and let's say I want to add values to it. So there you go. We have initialized a vector. This is how we can initialize or create a vector. Now we will know how to access a vector. So to access a vector, there are 3 ways. The first way is to use square brackets. So first we will use the myVec or vector name and use the square bracket. And as you can, as I have told you that we can access vector by index. So we will use the index number. Let's say I want to access the value 3 here. So what is the index of this value? 0, 1, and 2. So the index is 2. So I want to use 2 to access the value 3. As you can see, so this is how I access a vector. But to show this, that if I act to show this in an in a output terminal, let's print this. So I'm printing it. Let's see if we see the value 3. As you can see in the output terminal, we're seeing 3. By the way, this is the output terminal and this is the input terminal. We are using an Isaco guide IDE, so feel free to check that out. And let's get on to our lesson. So this is my vec. So we have access this way. We can use another way. So we use the front and back keyword. So front and back keyword is is used to access the first and the last element of a vector. So for example, if I use front keyword and run, I am going to access the first keyword is first. I'm going to access the first element, which is 1. and let's say I want to access, let's say, my vector back keyword. Then I'm going to access the second, the last element, like 5. So to avoid confusion, I'm removing that part. As you can see, I'm accessing the last element 5. So this is the second way, and there's another way which is using the at keyword. So dot at the index, we have to use the index value, which is, let's say, I have to use index 2. So let's access it. If we can show the value 3, so as you can see, we are seeing the value 3. So this is how we can access a vector. Now let's check how to change a vector. How to change a vector. So change an element in a vector, we have to first access it. So how can we access it? Like I've told you, like we have to use our vector name, and we can use the, you know, we can use the square bracket and assign a new values. For example, 5. 5 will be assigned. We can use the font to assign 22. We can use add keyword and let's say 4, and assign a new value 33 is. So these values will be assigned to those. So this is how we can, change values. We can change values in a vector. We can change values on a vector. So to show you all those value, we need to first print all those elements of those vectors. So for that we have to learn how to look through a vector. So I will show you how basic way to how to and simple way to how to look through the vectors. We're going to use the for each loop for integer. We have to take a new variable, let's say new vector, and we're gonna and we so this is the vector and this is a new variable. So all the elements of this vector will be accessed by new vector, and we're going to print this vector. So as you can see, so let's see, can you see all those elements? So as you can see, we can see all those elements. So I have print all those elements of this vector before changing any elements, right? So I'm going to use the same way oops, to access this to print this vector. Now see the magic. As you can see, the first loop printed from 1 to 5 all those elements, and the second loop printed all the elements from the first element to the last. So as you can see, I have accessed all those elements. I have changed all those elements. Like the first index should be 1, but it holds 22 because I have changed the font to 22. And the second index 0, 1 to the third, where the 3 value is changed with a 5, and the fourth index, which holds the value 5, change into 33. So this is how we can change values on a vector. So we have learned how to create a vector, how to access a vector, how to change a vector, how to add. Did we learn how to add elements? Yes, we have learned how to add a vector, and now we will learn how to remove elements from vector. To remove vectors, we're going to use, oh, that's a change. So we have learned change, how to change, and we didn't learn how to add and remove. We will learn now how to add and remove. So to add, so usually you can only add elements in the back of a vector, so we have to use the function push back and an element, like say 99. I want to add 99, so 99 will be added after 5. Let's say I want to add another, let's say 24. So 24 will be added after 99. So let's print all those. So let's see. So as you can see, initially we had 5 elements in in this vector myvec, and after that we have pushed back 99 and 24. So 99 and 24 is added to that vector. This is how we can add a vector, add elements to a vector. But how do we remove those elements from a vector? So let's see, we have to remove. So first we have to use our vector name, and we have to use the pop back function and the index. No, we don't have to use an index name. So let's check. Okay, for good readability, let's do something after removing. Okay, let's check now. Okay, we have made a mistake. What's that? Okay, we have forgot. Okay, silly mistakes. Okay, we didn't use a comma, or we didn't use a semicolon. Okay, so as you can see, we have, so this is the first, so this is the first loop, and it can as you can see, there's 99 and 24 is here, but after removing, as you can see, 24 is gone because we have used the pop back. So pop back will pop back the element from the end of a vector, so 24 is removed. So if I use pop back again, let's see what happens. Okay, I have used pop back. As you can see, 99 is also gone. So using pop back twice removes the last two elements of that vector. So this is how we can add and remove elements. So the function is, remember that, pushback and popback. Okay, so we have learned how to add and remove elements from an array, from a vector. Now we will know the size of a vector and if the vector is empty or not. So how to know the size of a vector? Let's say we're going to use vector name and the function my vector dot size. So we need to print out those results. Oops, there's not going, the semicolon will be after the code. So as you can see, it's returned 7. So for better readability, let me do something. Let me use a new line. So as you can see, the vector, so the size function returns the length of of that vector. So as you can see, it's 1, 2. There's 7 elements in that vector, and our size function returns us the number 7. So this is how we can know the size of vector. Simple, right? Now we will know how if a vector is empty or not. So we're going to we're going to see. So we will use the vector name and empty keyword. And the empty keyword will return 0 or 1. It will return a binary value. It's a boolean value. So 0 or 1. So 1 means the vector is not empty, and 0 means the vector is empty. So it should return 1. So let's check out what it returns. As you can see, it returns 0 means false. That means the vector is not empty. So how about we do some tweaking in that vector? We remove all of them. How about that? So for that, we're going to use the popback function. We're going to use the popback, and we're going to use it 5 times. We're going to use it 5 times. Okay, now let's run it. Let's check. As you can see, it returns 1, so that means the vector is empty, and and the loop returns 0, means there's no elements on this vector. So this is how we can check if a vector is empty or not, and how to know the size, and how to sort a vector. To sort a vector, we can use the sort function. Let's do sorting. Let's say we're going to change our vector to, let's say, 1, 6, 2, 3, and 7. Now let's print our vector. So all the vector is printed, and as you can see, there's no order. So 1, 6, 2, 3, 7. So there is no order in this vector. So we are going to sort it. Use the sort function, and we're going to use the myVec, and we're going to use the begin keyword, and we're going to use the myVec name to end keyword. So what it does, the sort function, what it does, it takes my vector name. So in this case, it is my vec and the keyword begin. Like it's gonna sort from the beginning of the vector, and it's gonna sort until the end of that vector. So we're gonna output that. We're gonna output that after sorting, and for better readability, we're gonna use some new lines. Okay, let's check. So as you can see, the first time, this is our this is our the real vector that we have wrote 1, 6, but after sorting, there's an order. As you can see, the bigger number is after of each small. So 1, 2, after that 3, 6, 7. So that's all for today. I will be in the next video. I'll be talking about another data structure of C++. So till then, take care.